Today we begin a new season of Cleveland Browns football as we start year number 2 at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by former Browns number 1 pick Baker Mayfield, playing against his former team, I believe, for the very first time in his NFL career, and he might be facing off against another number 1 pick at quarterback as we make our decision on the Week 1 starter. Will it be the new kid on the block, Kieran Riddle, or will it be Shedeur Sanders? So in the last episode, we went through the preseason. We ended up going 2-0-1, making a lot of roster moves on the way, deciding our 53-man roster. And from there, now we have to figure out which players are going to start, specifically at the quarterback position. I thought both Kieran Riddle and Shedeur Sanders looked excellent. Both of them were very efficient. They were able to push the ball downfield. They didn't turn the ball over. They both showed us exactly what we would have wanted to see going into the preseason. Both guys were really, really good. Both guys played against starters throughout the 3 games and really looked the part, I would say, which was very encouraging to see. And overall, the team as a whole, I felt, did pretty good. I feel like we outplayed the Washington Commanders starters in the first half of that game. A little shakier against Seattle, but, I mean, we didn't lose against the Seahawks, so there's that. Our other first-round rookie, Dorian Sahara, was a little quiet, although he did get a touchdown in the first game. And then defensively, I would say more so than anything, it was just good to have everyone back. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and Martin Emerson both missed the entire season last year. Schlesinger, Graham, Garrett each suffered major injuries towards the back half of last year. So just having everyone on the field was a win in and of itself. Now we've got to decide our opening lineup and, of course, the starting quarterback. Kieran Riddle will get the start in Week 1 for the Cleveland Browns. He has won the battle, and he will be the starting quarterback for this team. This was a pretty easy decision for me. I was super impressed with Shedeur Sanders through the preseason, but we did not invest the number 1 pick on Kieran Riddle for him to be a backup. And the fact that he played as well as he did just encouraged what we already believe, that he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. Shedeur Sanders will be the backup. As I've said ever since we drafted Kieran Riddle, no, I'm not trading him right now. I just don't really think there's a point. I don't know if there's an NFL team out there who would trade for him and feel confident that he's the franchise quarterback. In terms of ratings, he's higher than a guy like Wambley Mendoza, but the Cardinals used a top 10 pick on him, and his rating went up by 3 in the preseason. Maybe you could make an argument for the Jets, but they just used draft capital to trade for Bryce Young, even if it wasn't much capital. Maybe the Saints with Tyler Shuck, but they used a second-round pick on him, and he wasn't horrible last year. Those would really be the only teams who would even make a little bit of sense. I think Shedeur Sanders' value will come later in the year when someone's quarterback either struggles or gets hurt. I don't think we're going to get that much for him now. So why not keep him as a cost-controlled and very good backup? And then when his value is higher, maybe we explore the opportunity to trade him away. Or maybe this team ends up needing him. Hopefully not, because that would imply that Kieran Riddle either struggles or gets hurt. Both of those things are very possible, given that during his 4-year collegiate career, he wasn't very good in 3 of those 4 seasons and was injured in large parts of 2 of them. Call me crazy, but this roster might not be that bad, especially defensively. Sure, we were the worst scoring defense in the NFL last year, but we had plumbers and Uber drivers playing in the front 7 during the final month of the year. Now it's time to name team captains. We have 3 returning captains from last year: Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and David Njoku, and we're going to name 3 more. We'll start with the new special teams captain, punter Corey Bojorquez, replacing the role of Dustin Hopkins, who lost his kicking spot to undrafted rookie Paul Kasharchik. We're going to add a new defensive captain, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who's been a leader for this team. Of course, missed all of last year with an injury. Man, is it good to have him back. And then our final captain will be the rookie quarterback, Kieran Riddle, will be the 6th and final captain. Not only has he won over the coaching staff as the starter, but he's won over his teammates as the leader and hopefully the face of the franchise. So now let's take a look at our Week 1 opponent, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who finished towards the middle of the standings last year. They were expected to win the division, but with a breakout year from the Atlanta Falcons, they ended up finishing in 2nd, and they're looking to take that top spot back. The Bucs' schedule is interesting. They've got the Chiefs and the Bengals and the Lions pretty early in the year, so a lot of challenges. They know that they need to start off on the right foot. As we take a look at the roster, they've got plenty of talent, and of course, Baker Mayfield leads the way at quarterback, the former Cleveland Brown, who showed a lot of good things in Cleveland, and in hindsight, you can argue the Browns made the wrong decision in losing him. It was more so how they went about it was really bad, and I mean, trading for Deshaun Watson could not have gone any worse for more reasons than one. Baker was a little disappointing last year, but the Bucs are still riding with him as their guy. He's turned into one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL during his time with Tampa, and he's got a lot of weapons at his disposal. Bucky Irving, the third-year running back, leads the charge. Mike Evans is gone, signed with the Cardinals in the offseason, and Emeka Egbuka is hurt. He will not go. So Chris Godwin will start along with the rookie, Amani Law, a familiar face from Kansas. 4.24 40-yard dash with 99 speed. And we got to see firsthand for 3 years at Kansas how deadly his speed is in the open field. A dynamic deep threat who is a weapon with the ball in his hands. Mark Andrews also out for Tampa. They've got a lot of injuries, which we'll go over in a second. This team is pretty banged up. They got ravaged in the preseason. Joel Bitonio, the former Brown, was supposed to return. He will not play. Isaiah Reed, the third-round edge rusher from Florida, who they're excited about, he will not play. We're a little bit banged up, too. We lost 3 of our top 4 running backs, including Quinshon Judkins, who hopefully will be back in week 2. The other guys, the depth players, probably going to be out for longer. They are on IR. So we signed Kendre Miller, an undrafted rookie, Tyreek Booker, late in the preseason, but it'll be largely Dylan Sampson who gets a bulk of the touches. As for the Bucs, they'll be without 5 starters. Ibuka, Kalijah Kancey, Bitonio, Andrews, and Isaiah Reed, all out for Tampa Bay. There were not many teams who got hit more than the Bucs did in the preseason. Kieran Riddle leads out the offense for the Cleveland Browns. This team has not been able to find their quarterback this century. 25 years of starting the worst players at the position you can imagine. Can Kieran Riddle finally be the guy who changes the fortunes of this long-standing losing organization? The Browns finished with the worst record in the NFL last year, 4-13, but we believe Kieran Riddle can be the guy who changes everything. Corey Bojorquez tees it off. Season 2 is underway. A very long kick. That one might have went through the uprights. That should be a point. That would be such a fun rule. Baker Mayfield leads the offense out onto the field for Tampa Bay. Mayfield has turned into a very solid quarterback with the Bucs. This team with expectations to make it back to the playoffs after missing out in 2025. To start at the 35, Mayfield hands it off. Bucky Irving pushed backwards. Carson Schlesinger and Josh Paschal bring him down. I'm excited about Paschal. He had a really good year last year with Detroit. And then, of course, Schlesinger coming back. We have living, breathing linebackers, guys. I don't believe this. I cannot wait to have competency at that position. 3rd and 12. Mayfield wide open. It's Godwin to the 46-yard line. That's Baron Browning, banged up for the Browns, signed in the preseason to give us another veteran off the edge, and then he made the final roster. 3rd and 11. Mayfield up the middle. Should have been intercepted. Quentin Lake, the former Los Angeles Ram, who we signed to start opposite of Grant Delpit, has it in and out of his hands. And here comes the offense. Kieran Riddle, the Heisman Trophy winner and the #1 pick. 3 years at Virginia Tech and a terrific senior season at the University of Alabama. The Browns are starting at the 5. A great punt for Tampa Bay. We've got to dig ourselves out of this hole. First play is a pass, and it's batted at the line, incomplete. Kieran Riddle starts his NFL career 0 for 1. Now a 3rd down and 8 with trips to the left. Riddle goes short. His first completion is a first down. David Njoku to the 21-yard line where he's wrapped up by the All-Pro Antoine Winfield Jr. Sometimes the best throw you can make is the short one. Dylan Sampson tries to cut it to the outside, but he's going backwards. Elijah Parsons, the 2nd-round linebacker from Florida State, is the one who brings him down. That'll make it a 2nd and 13. Kendre Miller signed just 2 weeks ago in the backfield. Riddle up the middle. He's got Njoku to the 39. These two already seem to be in sync early. Njoku signed a 3-year, $42 million extension in the offseason, sticking around in Cleveland. We're hoping him and Harold Fannin can be the tight end duo of the future. 2nd and 1, Sampson up the middle, breaks a tackle, gets the first down, and is wrapped up by Zion McCollum. Njoku a little bit dinged up. I thought Sampson played really well towards the end of last year. His role was inconsistent through the course of the year, but I think he's going to play a much bigger factor for us this year. I think him and Judkins are going to be a great duo, but today he gets his opportunity to be the full-time starter. From the 41, Fannin in motion. He'll line out as a receiver as Kieran Riddle takes his time. Fannin now goes around in the backfield. Play action. Riddle under pressure. He is sacked. It's Winfield who brings him down, and one of the biggest reasons why he's one of the best safeties in the NFL, not just because he's a good cover player, but he makes those splash plays. He creates havoc, whether it's in the backfield or the back end. 3rd and 10, short throw. It's Judy. He gets around, say, 6, 7. He's a little bit short of the first down. 4th and 3 at the 35, and we're going to go for it. Kieran Riddle's first drive. We will attempt the 4th down conversion. Riddle looks to throw it, scrambles to the right, and it's overthrown. He was looking for Thrash. Good coverage, good pass rush by the Bucs. Riddle goes 5 of 7 on the opening possession, but misses the 4th down throw. Bucs with it at the 40, 3rd and 5. Mayfield lobs it up, looking for Law. He's got it! Amani Law to the 16-yard line. A huge first down conversion for the Buccaneers. Amani Law is so good stretching the field. I mean, he can outrun anyone. I'll give the corner credit. Greg Newsome stayed with him somehow the whole play, but Law skies up for the football and hangs on for a gain of around 44 yards. Tampa Bay should be very excited about him in this offense. Him and Ibuka for the next decade. Oh boy. Mayfield throws it away on 3rd down. His former teammate, another former number 1 pick, Myles Garrett, with the pressure. 4th and 10 from the 16. Field goal unit on for the Bucs. Looking to make it 3-0. From 33, that one is up, and it is through. Joshua Carty splits the uprights, and the Bucs take a 3-0 lead late in the first quarter. Browns get it back. Promising opening drive for us, especially considering the field position, but certainly a disappointing ending. From the 28-yard line, Riddle under center. It's Sahara's first NFL touch, and he is thrown to the ground for a loss of 3. It will call forward progress. That could have been a loss of more. Yaya Diaby is the one who brings him down. Trying to get creative there with Sahara. Any way we can get him the ball in space. He is so dangerous after the catch. 3rd and 11. Riddle lobs it up. It is caught! Jamari Thrash to the 44. What a play! Riddle lobs it up, trusting his receiver, and it works. 3rd and 1 at the 34. Riddle looks to throw it. Under pressure. Up the middle. Incomplete. Could have thrown it a little bit earlier there. Christian Roseboom sends the heat. And we're going to go for it again. Pretty much the exact same spot on the field as we were on the previous drive. But instead of 4th and 3, it's 4th and 1. 3 tight ends in the game. It's a run. Sampson tries to cut up the field, and he does not get it. Tampa Bay with the stop. Multiple players in the backfield swarming the space up the middle for Sampson as it's a loss of 2. Bucs have it back. Mayfield under pressure for Mariani. He's got Bucky Irving past the 50. Irving tracked down at the 44 by Lake and Delpit. That'll wrap up the first quarter. 3-0 lead for the Bucs. Promising start for Tampa Bay's offense, and I think we're moving the ball down the field pretty well too. The problem is we're 0 for 2 on 4th down. We've been aggressive early. I don't think they were bad play calls or bad decisions, just poor execution. We've got to be better in those 4th down spots. Tampa Bay looking to add to the lead here early in the second quarter as they have it at the 44-yard line here on 1st down. Mayfield hands it off. Bucky Irving looks to break a tackle. 1st down and more. Irving still up. A gain of 16. What a run by Bucky Irving, who in his 3rd year from Oregon, Sco Ducks by way of Minnesota, he's turned into one of the top young backs in the league. Kenan Cunningham, the rookie from Washington, in the backfield. That one is broken up on 3rd down. Trey Palmer, the intended target. Greg Newsome, who signed an extension halfway through the year last season, is the one who makes the play, and the Bucs are going to have to settle for another field goal. Joshua Carty on to kick for Tampa Bay. It's a 28-yarder. Looking to make it 6-0. It is good. So another field goal for the Bucs, another good drive, but Cleveland gets another stop in the red zone. Tampa Bay has not been able to score in the red zone, whereas our offense has been very unsuccessful on 4th downs. 2 very differing problems. Riddle under pressure. We tried to run a fancy play with a lot of motion, but it backfires. Christian Roseboom was there. Vita Vea was there sending pressure. 3rd down and 15. Riddle will just go short. Njoku gets around 4. Nobody was open down the field, and the Browns are going to have to punt it away. 3 drives, no points for Cleveland. Irving up the middle with space and a stiff arm. Bucky Irving to the 49. Tampa Bay didn't run it well on their first couple of drives, but now Bucky Irving is really starting to heat up. 6 and 7 in the backfield on 2nd and 1. Irving again bounces off a blocker. Whoa, Wirfs with an incredible block in space as Bucky gets it to the 16. Tracked down by Martin Emerson, who missed all of last year with a torn Achilles. Re-signed with us in the offseason on a 1-year prove-it deal. 2nd and 10, it's Trey Palmer inside the 5. It's Emerson again, tackling him at the 3. Tampa Bay seems to be in a rhythm, but they've got to punch it in here in the red zone to add to the lead. 1st and goal. Mayfield a pitch to the left. Irving with plenty of space. A Tampa Bay touchdown. Bucky Irving, the first with a touchdown this afternoon. It's a 13-0 lead, and now our offense has got to get it going. 3 drives, 0 points. Now with 3 minutes left in the first half, we've got to see something. 2nd and 2 at the 44. Sampson with it. He loses a yard. It has not been easy for us running the ball so far. Tampa Bay's run defense has been impressive. Miller in the backfield on 3rd down. Riddle looks to throw it. Looking short. Judy makes the catch to the 50 for the 1st down. Riddle hasn't looked down the field a ton. He's been efficient and accurate so far. As on 1st down, he looks to throw it. Looking down the field. Sahara is open. It's overthrown. Man, that could have been a big play, but Riddle misses him just by a little. The deep ball, probably the biggest weakness of Kieran Riddle's game. Sampson on 2nd down. Trucks the defender, and there's nobody in front of him. Dylan Sampson. Goodbye. Touchdown, Cleveland. A 50-yard touchdown for Dylan Sampson, and the Browns finally showing the sign of life offensively that this team has been missing. What a run for Sampson. Our run game has given us nothing today, and then bam, runs through Vita Vea's face. That's 350-pounder Vita Vea, the all-pro nose tackle, who's one of the best run defenders in the league, and Sampson launches him into the ground. 13-7, Bucks have it back at the 46. Mayfield is an open man. It's Amani Law to the 50, a gain of 24. We've already seen multiple chunk plays out of Law here in the first half. Mayfield misfires, though, on 3rd down. The Browns get the stop. We'll get it back on offense. A 48-second drill for Kieran Riddle. 2nd and 5. Fannin makes the catch, breaks the tackle. Does a really good job there after the catch to make sure he gets out of bounds, which stops the clock. Oh, it's a run! Trying to catch the Bucks off guard, and it does not work. Yaya Diaby throws down Sampson, and that was just kind of the death blow for us at the end of the first half. 13-7, Buccaneers on top. Not a great start for Cleveland, but we're in the game. We're only down by 6. We're going to need a lot more from the offense, though, as we take a look at our halftime report across the rest of the NFL. We'll start with the Thursday night opener. The Bengals spoil banner night in Baltimore. 28-26 with this impressive touchdown by Christian Watson. The Bengals are going to be one of the most interesting teams in the league for me because they had a really good draft, but they didn't improve the trenches. Picked a corner in the 1st round with Tyler Gamble, and then skill position players with Jalen Davies, Landiner, and Dylan Bellamy, all 3 of whom are going to be really good. But who's blocking for Burrow? Dolphins and Jets. It's been a promising first half for Bryce Young, who did win the starting job in New York over Justin Fields. The Jets didn't give up that much for him. A 4th rounder in this upcoming draft is all it costed. Young only with 1 year on the contract, looking to prove himself. Jets lead at 14-10. Lions finished last year on an 8-game winning streak, but were 1 and done in the postseason. They're hosting the Chicago Bears. Year 2 for Ben Johnson, year 3 for Caleb Williams. This touchdown by the former Lion, DeAndre Swift, has Chicago ahead 13-10. The biggest surprise on the scoreboard has to be the Colts, up 20-0 on Tennessee. The Titans were a playoff team last year. The Colts picked in the top 5, but it looks like the addition of T.K. Dicer, the receiver from Ohio State, and then trading for Kyler Murray has paid dividends up to this point for Indianapolis. Let's go into the second half. Some good and some bad. I don't think the offense has been particularly productive. Other than the Sampson touchdown, we've been shut out so far. Now, I think Kieran Riddle individually has been efficient. 11 of 16, 115 yards through the air, 11 on the ground. But he's got to get his top playmakers the ball. Judy, 3 catches, 16 yards. Sahara, 0 catches, 1 touch, -3 yards. Riddle up the middle. Here's Sahara. Breaking tackles to the 43. His first career reception goes for a gain of 18. And you can see him fighting for yards after the catch. He is so good at breaking tackles, but he can also make guys miss with his footwork. Play action. Riddle on the run. Wants it all. Looking for Judy. It is intercepted. Jamel Dean picks it off. I see what Kieran Riddle was trying to do there. It looked like Judy had a step on the 2 DBs, but Riddle underthrew him a little bit. If he sends that ball a little bit farther out to the right, Jerry Jeudy is the only one who can make a play on it. Even if it's overthrown and incomplete, at least it wouldn't be a turnover. So I really don't think it was that bad of a read or a decision by Riddle, but I think the ball placement could have been better. A rookie mistake by a guy who we're hoping will be able to learn from his mistakes and figure it out. 2nd and 7, Mayfield, play action, looks to throw it. Mayfield gets by the defender, gets the first down, fighting for yards to the 33. Our defense could not stop scrambling quarterbacks at all in the second half of last year. Our linebackers were horrific. So far, it has looked unsurprisingly a lot better, other than that play. From the 33, Cannon Cunningham loses yardage. Carson Schlesinger brings him down. Grant Delpit was there as well. Delpit tied for the NFL lead in interceptions last year, along with the Buccaneer linebacker Levante David, who has since retired. Myles Garrett in the backfield. Finally a sack. We have sent virtually no pressure today. Garrett's been okay, but everybody else has been quiet as he's there with the sack, and it's a 3rd down and 17 now for the Bucs. Irving is dinged up, and so Cunningham continues to get the touches at running back. Mayfield looks to throw it. He's going to scramble, gets by Schlesinger, and is wrapped up by Denzel Ward. So the Browns defense gets the stop. They'll get it back on offense. First career interception on the previous drive for Kieran Riddle, looking to bounce back and possibly get the offense rolling. 3rd down and 9, joined by Dylan Sampson in the backfield. Riddle looks to throw it, rolls out to the right side. He's got Njoku open, broken away. If he throws it a little bit earlier, I think that would have been caught, but Parson was able to catch up because Riddle took an extra second to throw the ball. Bucs back with it, 3rd and 5. Mayfield looks to scramble again, and he is met short. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah brings him down. It is so good to have him back. Missed all of last year with a neck injury. Those are scary, but he is healthy, team captain, and he's ready to rock and roll this year. 2nd and 9. Sahara, the jet sweep again, and it once again does not work. Another loss of 3. It's Yaya Diaby who brings him down. 4th-year pro out of Louisville, coming off a career year last season. 3rd and 12. Riddle looks to throw it. It is caught. Nice grab. Jabari Thrash with the defender all over him. Was able to get the first down, keeping the chains moving for Cleveland. From the 41 now, Sampson tries to break the tackle. He cannot. Benjamin Morrison is the one who brings him down. I wonder what Ben Morrison's dealer thinks of that. If you know, you know. Final play of the 3rd, 2nd and 12. Riddle goes short for Sahara. Plenty of room. Plows through the defender to the 37. That right there is why we're so excited about him. I believe he can be maybe the most dangerous receiver after the catch in the entire league. He's so big, he's so strong, and he's also so quick. That'll wrap up the 3rd. No score change. A defensive, low-scoring battle here in Cleveland. The Browns lead 13-7. Very good quarter for us defensively. Offense largely wasn't very good, but we're starting to get a little something going here in the 4th, and we'll see if the Browns possibly can put themselves back on the board. Starting the 4th at the 37. Kendre Miller up the middle with the first down to the 23. Former 3rd rounder out of TCU, and now he's banged up. This running back room cannot catch a break. My goodness. Judkins dinged up. The 2 depth guys we signed in free agency on IR, and now Miller is banged up. From the 15, it's Sampson on the screen, gets the first, and we are in striking distance of the lead. This has certainly been the best drive of the game for the Cleveland offense, but we've got to finish. 2nd and goal. Riddle looks to throw it. Riddle has Sahara open, and he misfires. That was a great route. Quarterback's got to make the throw there, as it's 3rd down and goal at the 7, a little over 8 to go. Riddle steps up, finds room. Riddle walks it in for a touchdown! And the Cleveland Browns take the lead here in the 4th. First career score for Kieran Riddle comes on the ground. A 14-13 lead for the Browns. A really impressive drive by the rookie. He did miss the one throw for a touchdown earlier, but made some good plays with his arm. He gets the scramble in for a score with his legs as they attempt and probably fail the bowling celebration. But more importantly, we got the touchdown. Kieran Riddle can really run. I think Alabama should have used him a little bit more as a design runner. He can scramble around if need to. He can make plays again on design runs. He's got the athleticism and the speed to do so. Browns lead it for the first time today. Bucks have it back. Cunningham with a juke move gets the first to around the 49-yard line. Has been a great player at the University of Washington, a 4-year starter. The fumbles were an issue, though. I believe he was at over 10 in his collegiate career, although he got better at it as he went along. Loses a yard there. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah leads the way. That's Dominic Proctor, dinged up. The top pick of the 4th round at corner out of the University of Arizona. A player who we're very excited about. I think he can be a long-term contributor for us, particularly in the slot. 3rd down and 5. Mayfield looks to throw it. Mayfield wide open. It's Amani Law. Gets lit up at the 22 by J.O.K., but not before getting the first down. 3 receptions, 90 yards in what has been a very impressive NFL debut for Law. I'm super happy for him, but, why against us? 2nd and 4, Baker on the scramble, gets the first down to the 10, and with under 6 minutes to go, the Buccaneers are now in striking distance. We've got to make sure we hold them out at the end zone, though. At the very least, a field goal isn't the worst-case scenario. Law gets around 5. Good tackle there by Cleveland. And that'll make it a 3rd down and 2. We're not letting the rookie get his first career touchdown that easily. Biggest play of the game. 4.5 to play. Mayfield under center with 2 tight ends. Under pressure, and that one is broken away. Godwin looked like kind of open. But Denzel Ward gets in front of it and swats the ball away. The rookie linebacker, Tanner Mariani, with pressure on the blitz. He's really the guy who made that play go. It's a chip shot for Carty, a 19-yarder to take the lead. It is a Carty party. He's 3 for 3. I understand the decision to kick the field goal for the Bucs. I know you're that close to the end zone, but obviously they trust their defense, and their defense has played really well, so I would understand it. But let's see what this kid's got. A potential game-winning drive opportunity in Game 1 for Kieran Riddle. He's coming off the best drive of his career, his first career touchdown. Riddle will start short. Dylan Sampson gets around 6 or 7 yards. We'll show the entirety of the drive, given that it is a big one in the young career of Kieran Riddle. As he hands it back off, Sampson gets the first down to the 38. We're in no rush with this clock. We've got plenty of time, and all we would theoretically need is a field goal, although I'd rather not have to go for a long field goal. It is a rookie kicker in his first game. He hasn't attempted a field goal yet, so I don't want to put too much on his plate, as Tyreek Booker only gets a yard. Undrafted rookie out of West Virginia making the final roster. 2nd and 9, here's the rookie Hickson. First career snap, first career catch, first career first down. Not a bad start for Jontre Hickson, 6th rounder out of Virginia Tech, who I thought had a really good preseason for us. Riddle steps up, dives forward, a gain of around 7. This clock is quickly moving as we're getting close to the 2-minute warning. Browns have it past midfield at the 45. Riddle under pressure. He's got to get rid of it, and he throws it away. Good job to avoid the sack there. I'd much rather a 3rd and 3 than, say, a 3rd down and 10. This gives us a lot more flexibility to open up the playbook a little bit. We can run it. We can throw it. We could easily go for it on 4th as Sampson breaks the tackle. Sampson to the outside. Dylan Sampson to the 31. A huge run for around 14 yards, and that puts us in field goal range for the rookie, Kasharchik. Although I'm sure we would love more than a field goal. As I said earlier, I'd rather not put this game into the leg of an undrafted rookie who's never kicked an NFL field goal. Riddle scrambles around, hoping for the big play. No one's open, throws it away. Smart decision by Kieran Riddle, who continues to avoid mistakes for the most part. As it's an RPO, Jabari Thrash leads the team in receiving yards, gets it to the 21, and the Bucs are going to start calling their timeouts right away, and understandably so. I mean, at this point, we're primarily going to run the ball, chew the clock, try to put ourselves in position for a chip shot field goal or close to the end zone. Sampson gets around 7. Timeout number 2 used by the Buccaneers. If we played this smart, we could easily score here and not let Tampa Bay get the ball back, but we've got to manage this correctly. Kendre Miller back in the game, dives forward. That's a smart play. He didn't need to score there. He didn't need to get the extra yards, forced the Bucs to use their last timeout, and now we have full control of the clock. We could kneel it twice and kick a field goal, but I'm not going to do that. I do want to see if we can get a little closer as Sampson gets maybe a yard or so. Njoku is hurt, not ideal, but we also have to use a timeout, which stops the clock. That's really not good. We could have brought it down to about 30 seconds. 2nd and 9, it's Booker. Gets maybe a yard, and now there's an injured Buck. That is Chris Braswell, not to be mistaken with Broncos legend Chris Brazzell. It is now a 3rd down and 5. Still 56 seconds left. Sampson gets it. Juke move. Juke's away again. He is in for a touchdown. Dylan Sampson, his 2nd of the game, and the Browns take the lead. An interesting decision to go for the touchdown there rather than go down and take the points. The thought process is, I mean, for one thing, I didn't want to put this game into the leg of the rookie, but also a touchdown here by Sampson means the Buccaneers now have to drive the entire length of the field with no timeouts. Sure, had we kicked a field goal, there would have been like 15 seconds for them, so it would probably be harder. But one big play, they're in field goal range. I feel confident that we can hold them out of the end zone. Nearly intercepted on 1st down by Quentin Lake. 48 seconds, though, is quite a bit of time. It's a lot different than the 10 seconds they could have had otherwise if we just took the points. Mayfield up the middle. That's going to go for around 7. Another injury for the Bucs. They get to use a timeout for free. How is that fair? 3rd and 3 at the 42. Mayfield, clean pocket, scrambles, gets the 1st down. That's fine. I let the middle of the field somewhat open on purpose to tempt him because I knew it would take a lot of time off the clock. Tick, 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 tick. 20, 19, 18. He clocks it there at the 45. They're not that far away from field goal range, but again, since we scored the touchdown, they're going to need more than a field goal. They've got to go all the way. 2nd and 10. Mayfield looks to throw it. Clean pocket again. Scrambles, and he's wrapped up by Myles Garrett. Why is Baker running it? I don't get it. Look at the clock. 8, 7, 6. They've got to get back. 4, 3, 2, and Baker spikes it right there. 2 seconds at the 42. It's a 4th down and 7. He's going to lob it up for the game. This is it. A Hail Mary for the win. Baker Mayfield for the end zone. It is incomplete. And the Cleveland Browns start the Kieran Riddle era off with a win. 21-16 here in Week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And look, this game was ugly. It was not pretty, especially offensively. If not for the 50-yard touchdown by Dylan Sampson, we would have been shut out through 3 quarters. But this offense was clutch. When Kieran Riddle and the guys needed to hunker down, they did. Kieran Riddle was a gamer. It was far from a great debut for him. He's got a lot to improve on. But when the moment needed to be taken, he took the bull by the horns. Defensively, I thought we played a great game, only allowing 3 points in the second half. I thought the pass defense, especially the secondary, was terrific. We didn't send much pressure, yet the back end was still really, really good. There were certainly some good and some bad from Kieran Riddle, who finishes his NFL debut 22 for 34, 224 yards and an interception. Had some correctable mistakes, had a couple bad misses, but overall, I think for the most part, he kept the ball out of harm's way, and he led 2 great drives at the end of the game. Baker only completed 53% of his throws. I would argue Kieran Riddle was better. 17 for 102 and 2 scores for Sampson. Granted, half of his yards came on 1 run, but I thought he played a really good game overall. I was very impressed with him in his first career NFL start. Bucky Irving was good as well, although he was dinged up for the second half. Baker had some good runs. We kind of led him at times towards the end, and then Kieran Riddle as well had some good scrambles. 6 catches for Njoku, 61 yards for Thrash, 97 for Amani Law. He looked really good for Tampa Bay. Only 4 catches for 24 yards for Jerry Jeudy. Dorian Sahara was also quiet, only 2 catches, 42 yards. 29 came after the catch, which is not a surprise for him. Defensively, though, I thought we played awesome. Even though the pass rush really was not there, Garrett had a few pressures, finished a sack, but the rest of the pass rush was not very good. Yaya Diaby, Carson Schlesinger played well. A lot of TFLs for them. No other sacks other than Garrett. Mason Graham was a total non-factor. Mike Hall didn't give as much. The other edge rushers were quiet. But I thought the rest of the secondary was great. The corners, the safeties, for the most part, we didn't let Tampa Bay's receivers get open too easily, especially in man coverage. Let's take a look at our weekly report across the rest of the NFL here in week number 1. We'll start off in Cleveland. The Browns upsetting Tampa Bay at home. Kieran Riddle starts 1-0 as an NFL starter, leading 2 very impressive drives in the fourth quarter, including this touchdown by Dylan Sampson, one of just 2 players in the NFL in week 1 to run for 100 yards. The other was Christian McCaffrey. Bengals-Ravens, we saw this game earlier, Cincinnati over Baltimore. We are set to play both of these teams very soon. We've got the Ravens in week 3, the Bengals in week 4, and then the Ravens on prime time in week 5. We know Baltimore is legit. They just won the Super Bowl, but if this Bengals team is going to be better than last year, then that could prove to be trouble. And then we head to the Pacific Northwest. A couple of playoff teams from a year ago. The Seahawks facing off against the Giants. What a year it was for Jackson Dart and company, leading the Giants to an NFC East title and a playoff win as a rookie. And he picked up right where he left off to start year 2. Antonio Gibson with the touchdown. He joins forces with Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scattaboo in the running back room. Dart throws for a couple scores and nearly 300 yards in a 30-24 win for the G-Men over the Seahawks. As we take a look at some other scores across the rest of the NFL, we don't have to root against Jacksonville now, so I guess they can do good for, all we care. Zarius Stone, the number 2 pick, also starts 1-0, a low-scoring win for Carolina. We'll get to see them next week. Bills and Chiefs, surprisingly low-scoring. Dolphins and Lions come back. We saw their games earlier. 35-6, Isaiah Timph and the Rams demolish Wambley Mendoza and the Cardinals. 5 touchdowns for Timph. 6 times Wambley Mendoza was sacked. Very opposite debuts for those 2 quarterbacks. Isaiah Timph ends up winning the NFC Offensive Player of the Week in his NFL debut, joined by Baker Mayfield, Tariq Woolen, and Logan Wilson. As I mentioned with Sampson, 2nd in the NFL in rushing, 1st in rushing touchdowns. Really, really solid debut. Again, half of his runs came on one run, but I also don't really think that's a fair point to criticize him with, because that 50-yard touchdown was all him, rather than the offensive line. One of the top 2 picks, either Zarius Stone or Kieran Riddle, will start their NFL careers 2-0. And then in week 3, headed to Kieran Riddle's hometown to play against his childhood team, the Baltimore Ravens, and his favorite player growing up, Lamar Jackson. That game will be a very interesting litmus test for us to see where we're really at. That'll wrap up the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Peace out.